Hi, this is David Diarera, and I'm going to be talking about 5 different aspects from Nancy Adler's book. I'm going to be talking about the organization that I work for. I work for the New Mexico Air National Guard. We are the 150th Fighter Wing based out of Kirtland Air Force Base in Albuquerque. We are the third largest installation in the Air Force and 6th largest Air Force base in the world. We received federal recognition in 1947 as the 188th Fighter Bomber Squadron. The New Mexico Air National Guard since then has fought in many wars, done many operations, including the Korea conflict, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Operation Joint Endeavor in Bosnia, and that was in 1997. We did air operations in 1999 to Kosovo, Italy. We've done Operation Southern Watch and Northern Watch in Kuwait. We've also done Operation Noble Eagle, which happened on September 11, 2001. And like I said, we've done other operations around the world and around the state. Most recently, the fires up in Los Alamos, we were conducting patrols up there. Anyways, the 5 different aspects from Nadler's book that I'm going to talk about are culture, people's relationship to the world, what motivates a person in the workplace, the expatriate spouse, on how families deal with overseas or global jobs, and also on how to succeed for global jobs. So first off, culture. The culture of the Air National Guard is different. We deal with many people, many situations, but we have mission and vision statements that we have there at the 150th that we deal with, but we ultimately live by the Air Force mission and vision statements. The mission of the United States Air Force is to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace. And to achieve that mission, the Air Force has a vision of global vigilance, reach, and power. That vision orbits around 3 core competencies, and the competencies are developing the airmen, developing technology to warfighting, and integrating operations. And with those core competencies, they make up 6 capabilities possible. And the capabilities are the air and space superiority, global attack, rapid global mobility, precision engagement, information superiority, and agile combat support. So with that, with the Air Force basing those core competencies and the distinct capabilities on shared commitment to the 3 values of the Air Force, and those values that we have to cherish and go by on an everyday basis. Those are integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. And basically, as the New Mexico Air National Guard, we have to live by those just because we work directly for the Air Force. Based on the culture of the New Mexico Air National Guard, it all depends on the training, the education, and the experience we get in our related work areas. It's different for everyone. Even if we are in the same career field or work field, we still all handle different situations, and it's just different for everybody. But the Air Force also designs, develops, delivers, and coordinates relevant and cohesive knowledge and skills for cross-cultural competence, meaning we handle our work area is different. Everyone's got a different job. Not the same two people are going to be having the same job, even though they work in the same areas. But even at that, though, people will not have the same responsibilities. And communication is a big factor with understanding just what happens on a daily basis. We've got to learn to communicate with each other, and this helps us learn and grow to succeed in the Air Force and ultimately in the Air National Guard. The next thing I am going to cover is the people's relationship to the world. And what is a person's relationship to the world? And are people dominant over their environment, in harmony with it, or subjugated by it? And basically, all bases all over the world are mainly the same, and it makes it much easier for people to travel around the world with the military, meaning that if you find something here on a base here in the States, you're more than likely going to find it on a base overseas. People that live on military bases can find the same things from base to base. It's not going to be much different. The only thing that's going to be different is outside of the fence. For instance, here in the U.S. we deal with many different situations, but overseas, across the fence, outside of the base fence, it's a different world. And in all reality, we're all human, and it makes it difficult to move to an overseas area, but it's also an exciting part of what we do and how we handle an overseas move. But the military in itself is good at helping people and their families move overseas. The next situation, or the next part of the book that I want to cover, is what motivates a person. And many questions surround this, not just what motivates a person, but also what inspires people, what inspires you in the workplace. How are you going to contribute to yourself, to your coworkers, to the workplace, and what energizes members? What gives you the motivation to get up, to go to work every day? What is job satisfaction? Are you happy just finishing one project a day? Are you happy finishing 5 projects? What is job satisfaction to you? Another is, what influences good behavior in the workplace? Is it the employees that give you the motivation to have a good behavior in the workplace? Also, what channels accomplishment? What gives you that motivation to accomplish something in the workday? Are people really motivated at finishing something? What is that motivation that gives you to accomplish things at work? Another sense in that is the expatriate spouse. Spouses have a hard time moving overseas. It can be a difficult situation. In global transfers, the spouse, it has the most difficult role of any family member, whether it be the wife or the husband. In most cases, it's always the wife that's moving with the husband. And people, couples that have dual careers, the government usually, or the organization, should help both the husband and wife. Let's say the husband's got the job overseas, the company or the organization or the government should be helpful in finding the spouse a job overseas. this just helps out with the move, helps out with everything else. It makes it that much easier. But it's hard, if only one person's got a job and the other one doesn't. And this comes to a sense of kids. Kids are always involved too with the family. In the picture there, I've got my wife and my two boys. If we were to go overseas, as a family, it'd be difficult for all of us. They're the boys are just growing up. They're 3 and 5. But I mean, finding friends, living in different cultures is going to be a difficult thing. So, and my wife, it's got to be hard, and a global transfer. But I'm sure she's going to have a hard time if we were to move overseas, and finding friends, finding things to do. And what challenges does the wife have, in living abroad? Is it going to be easy for her? No, it's definitely not. But how is she going to adapt to the new cultures? Is she going to go out and travel every day too, and meet people, make friends? You just don't know who to trust out there either. It's going to be difficult for everyone involved. Not just the spouse, but the whole family's got to have a good time moving overseas anyway. Anyways, moving on to the global careers, succeeding. There's always a key to success, but not just one key. There's many keys that play with success on a global career. With us in the New Mexico National Guard, military personnel, they want to go overseas. They want to experience that. It's an experience of a lifetime. Just going overseas and getting the feel of an opportunity, and learning about how the military functions across the ponds, and ponds meaning the oceans, but just experiencing that. And most of the time, the job never changes overseas. If you've got the job here in the States, it's not going to change overseas. You've still got to live by the mission and vision of the Air Force, and do whatever job you've got. But it's going to be different, of course, especially being in a different country. But it's going to be a good experience. There's many challenges along the way, and the responsibilities are going to grow all the time. We're always going to learn on our jobs, learn more about people, learn about ourselves. It's a good experience to go overseas. Of course, there's always good money, good benefits. It may be a good career advancement for you to go overseas. It's always a good way to get exposure and create lifelong friendships out overseas. You never know, you may meet your best friend out there. But anyways, it'll be a good experience. That concludes my presentation. If anyone's got any questions, I'm available during class. But this is a little spiel that I gave on some of Adler's parts from the book. Anyways, thanks.